The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today in our LaunchPad webinar series. This is the first kickoff series for SEO5 Consulting's LaunchPad webinar edition that we'll be bringing to you once a month. Got a great turnout here. So thanks once again for everybody for attending today. Before we begin, let's do a bit of housekeeping. So I just want to make sure that the audio is coming out loud and clear. So if you could just put in the chat box that you could hear us fine, that'd be terrific. Just a couple of OKs will do. Let's just wait for responses here. Yep, if you can hear us fine, loud and clear, just put in a quick OK in the chat box and we're all set. Great, excellent. So yep, we got a couple of OKs here, so it seems like we're coming out loud and clear. Terrific. So I'd like to introduce myself first. My name is Vinish Sandir. I'm the Director of Online Marketing with SEO5 Consulting. Been with the organization for about close to 8 years. So it's been a lifetime here. Fun place. Terrific learning, love digital advertising, digital marketing, and I'm very excited to be a part of these webinar series that are primarily aimed at educating you as to what's happening in the world of digital marketing. And we promise you it'll probably be the best 45 minutes to an hour that you'd be spending if you don't want to go out there and try and look for information on your own. This is the webinar to attend because we get you up to speed in everything that's happening in the world of digital marketing, specifically with SEO and related to your business. I'm also joined today by my colleague, my Darren Edward. Darren's our online marketing manager at SEO5 Consulting. My right-hand man, he's a very, very knowledgeable guy in the world of digital marketing. Very lucky to have him, and he's also joining us today. Darren?
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks, Vinish. Really great to take part in this first webinar series for SEO5 Consulting. Like Vinish said, this is really informational based. There's a lot of different sites online where you could get this information, but we feel this webinar is really going to condense that information, let you know the important updates in the industry, as well as share some case studies that we've performed from our clients. Like Vinish, I've been with the company just under 5 years, since 2010, working in the digital marketing industry. Really exciting, and it's constantly changing, so I think that's why this is a great initiative. Really great webinar, and really thank everyone for turning out this week. Definitely want to make sure that you guys could let any other colleagues or team members, if they want to learn more with regards to online marketing, definitely share our registration link, and they could attend as well in future meetings.
Awesome. Thanks, Darren. Great. So just to give you a bit of a background as far as the webinar series is concerned, we were getting a lot of requests from our existing clients and our prospects on some sort of a forum or an opportunity where there was opportunity for learning, that they could get up to speed as far as digital marketing initiatives are concerned and what was happening in the world of digital marketing. So that was our main premise for setting up these LaunchPad webinar series. This is really for you, so you can make it as participative as you'd like. There's no cap in the number of attendees. You can circulate this link to prospects, clients, competitors. It doesn't really matter to us. There's always learning from everybody. As I mentioned, this is really for you. So make this as participative, as interactive. We'll share our contact information with you at the end of the webinar. So if there's topics that you'd like addressed, if there's specific areas that you'd like addressed in this webinar series, please give us that feedback so we can address it going forward in our future webinars. All right, so let's dive right in. So just to get you familiarized with the format that we'd be following for the LaunchPad webinar series, the first section is going to be talking about all of the latest news and articles. So what we have done is that we've basically compiled, condensed important news and events that will make a difference to you as a business owner or as a marketer in your day-to-day operations with regards to digital marketing. So the first part of that webinar is going to be dealing with all of the latest news and articles that are taking place in the world of digital marketing that impact you. So that's the first part. The second part of this webinar is going to deal with a case study. So what we try and do is that we line up a case study in different industry verticals, clients that we've been working with and have achieved a certain level of success with, and correlate that to you, disseminate that information to you so you can see as to how that relates potentially to your industry, and share some best practices in that case study with you that worked out really well for us. And in this manner, if you want to incorporate some best practices or you want to get in touch with us because you need some more information on this case study, please feel free to do so. And the last part of the webinar is really a Q&A section, and this is where it gets really interactive. Now, we do suggest that you hold your questions till the end of the webinar. However, as we're going through the slides, if there's a question that pops up, do put the question in the question pane. We will address all the questions in the order of as they were asked towards the end of the webinar. And then this way the question's fresh in your mind. You don't have to remember it till the end of the webinar. Just put it in the question box and we'll definitely address it at the end of the webinar. The Q&A section is really where it's interactive, and this is, it doesn't have to be a question that's related to some of the topics that we presented today. It can be any topic that's related to digital marketing per se in general. So that's really sort of like an open forum. Ask us anything and we'll do our best to answer your question. And if you don't have the information therein, rest assured we'll investigate your question and an appropriate response is going to be sent across to you. Okay, terrific. So let's dive right in with our first news of the month that we wanted to share with you. So this is a really exciting development as concerning local businesses. So recently Google Search has now started testing a chat icon in a local business box. So you know when you're going on Google and you're searching for a local business, whether it's like, you know, a plumber or whatever it is that you're searching for, and then you see this local carousel open up that actually gives you information about the business. So you can see the business name, you can see the reviews associated with that business, you can see I'm scrolling my mouse here, and then you can see the description associated with that business. Now you see the address, and then you see the contact info. So you see a telephone number here, and here's the new thing that Google's been testing out. So they're actually just testing out a chat function, and then below that you have hours and reviews associated with this particular business. But this chat function is really cool because it allows you to connect with prospects and potential visitors right away that are looking for your product or service. So when you click on this chat function, it says available. When you click on it, you'll see on the right hand side you have this chat box that opens up, and then you can essentially start chatting with that particular company rep, whoever's managing that chat for that particular company, and have an instantaneous dialogue about what your potential inquiry is with regards to this business. So this is like a huge game-changing moment when it comes to Google local business reviews or Google local business listings, because now you have an opportunity to potentially convert right away. Chat with a prospect and convert right away. So live chat's getting more and more prominence as far as digital advertising is concerned, and Google's definitely taking a step in that direction. So again, keep a lookout for this. Check your listings. Do random searches when you and check when your local listings coming up. Click on it. Just make sure that if you do have this chat function enabled, because Google's launching this slowly but steadily across the board for all businesses. So when you do have this function that's available, make sure that it's marked to available. That's very important, so that this way you can assign an executive in your company to handle these chats that are coming in. Can be potentially a receptionist, can be potentially somebody that's, you know, always in the office and is fairly reliable and knowledgeable as far as your product offerings are concerned, so they can tackle questions coming in from the visitors. If anything, even if your receptionist is managing this chat function, just get them to get the contact info of the visitor, just their name, email, and telephone number. Just these 3 fields is what you need so that you get the lead information, and then you can start a conversation offline as long as you've captured the lead. So keep a lookout for this. Google's not really been very clear in terms of how this rollout's taking place. We checked the Google My Business accounts for some of our clients, and we tried to find the chat icon. It hasn't been enabled. So there isn't an area where you can control this chat functionality from in Google My Business at this stage right now, but we'll definitely keep you posted as and when these developments take place. But this is a really important development. And once the chat function does go live in your own local listing, make sure that you have somebody locally assigned to manage this for you and your chat is turned on, because this is an amazing opportunity to get some conversions and some visitors converting right away. So wanted to basically start off with that particular news item that was making the rounds in the month of February. The second news item, surprise, surprise, it's Google again. Google rules the world, right? So we definitely have a lot of news around Google. But basically, as some of you are aware, Google had changed their local interface to something called Google My Business. And one of the challenges with managing listings, your local listings in Google My Business, was the fact that you couldn't really control the pictures that were appearing in My Business. It was very limited as far as the picture functionality or features are concerned. So Google's updated that, and they've now put out a new interface. In this new interface, you can have 6 categories of images. You can have your identity photograph, you can have your interior photo, exterior photo, photos at work, team photos, and additional photos. So there's 6 categories of images that you can be uploading into your Google My Business that Google now allows you to do. Again, I would highly suggest that you get in touch with your account executive in our organization if you want to take advantage of this, so we can optimize this properly and efficiently for you. And the other advantage that Google gives you is that when you're actually uploading a picture, it even gives you the choice over here. So you say, it says, select the photo you recommend to show first in Google Maps and search. So you can either choose that photo to appear as the cover photo, as the logo, or as your profile picture. So there's these options that Google gives you when you're uploading a picture. But this is really cool that Google now allows you to have pictures classified into 6 different categories: the identity, interior, exterior, photos at work, team photos, and additional photos. And it's been proven that a business listing that has a lot of pictures gets a lot more conversions, just because I guess more photos are associated with more reliability as far as your business is concerned. So it's very important to take advantage of this feature and make sure that your local business listing in Google is fully optimized. You have all these different pictures up there, and the best part is that even if you don't have your own pictures, like, you can actually scour pictures. Like, let's say if you're in a business center, you can take pictures off the business center and then upload that as exterior photos, and then take some pictures of the business center, upload them as interior photos. So it doesn't necessarily need to be your own photos that you need to upload. You can utilize your business center photos if your office is located in one of the business centers, right? Again, if you need more information about this particular feature, do get in touch with us or get in touch with one of your account executives that you're working with, and we'll definitely be able to assist you on this. Awesome. So the next news item that we wanted to share with you is kind of interesting. It's with regards to a mobile search. And if you're doing a random search in your mobile device or let's say your tablet, you'll see that the original listings, the way that they were showing up, were in a very sort of a plain Jane format. You'd have all these different listings on the left-hand side, and you'd see that they weren't really, I mean, they're just a gray link that was separating them, right? Still fairly clean. I mean, the interface looks nice and clean. You can see that all the listings are separated with a gray line marker showcasing the end of a listing and the start of a new listing. So it's fairly clean, but Google's kind of taken this a step further, and now they've made another change where listings on your cell phone are going to be appearing with a sort of like a colored line markup almost. And these are sort of like Google's colors that they're utilizing. You can see there's a bit of a blue that they're utilizing there, a bit of an orange that they're utilizing over there. So they're trying to probably highlight the mobile listings a little bit better. So there's the segregation between the different listings stands out. That's probably why they're doing it. That's I guess the rationale over here, just so that everything stands out really properly. But there's been a marked change, and this is the change that's happening in mobile search result snippets. So if you're using your tablets or your cell phones to browse search results, you'll basically see the differences here. And we have encapsulated the before and after picture as far as the differences are concerned. All right, so the next item that we wanted to focus on was a really interesting article, and this is a topic, it's sort of like a hot button topic with a lot of our local businesses that we deal with, is about getting online reviews that build businesses. Right, so we wanted to spend a little bit of time on this, and there's a fantastic article that was actually covered recently on searchengineland.com. That's a fairly reputable website as far as digital marketing is concerned. It's run by an individual by the name of Danny Sullivan. Danny Sullivan, for the ones that you don't know, is sort of like the grandfather as far as search marketing reporting is concerned. Danny started reporting in search engines back in 93, 94, when Google wasn't even there. You had like Netscape and I guess some of the older search engines. That's when he started covering this industry, and he's been doing it ever since. A fantastic person, great information resource. I've had the pleasure of meeting up with him in a few search engine strategies conferences. And so Search Engine Land is his web property that he runs. Terrific source for news and information. And this article was recently showcased. So we'd like to spend a little bit of time on this article and sort of like educate you on reviews, because this is a hot topic and we get a lot of questions from our clients with regards to local listings and best practices. So the first question that this article addresses is the reasons why you want to have good reviews. Okay. So one of the first reasons that this article talks about in terms of having good reviews is because you want to stand out in the search results. So here's a random search that the author had put in, family lawyer in Wilbraham in Massachusetts, and you can see that there's different listings that come up. So you're seeing your PPC ad listings come up. So the first three listings are ads that are PPC ads that are showing up here. And then you can start seeing the local carousel kick in, the local 7-pack that kicks in prior to the organic listings, right? And over here you see that you have the Shapiro Law Group having their listings reviewed over there, and along with ratings. And they have a rating of 4.7 out of a potential rating of 5, right? Which is a pretty good rating. And then if you actually look at the listing below it, it's got like one Google review, and then I guess Scaly Law does not have anything associated with it, right? So when you're looking as a regular visitor that's browsing Google, coming onto a website, and you're doing a random search on Google, research has proven that you are more likely to click on a listing that has a lot of reviews as opposed to a listing that doesn't have a lot of reviews. And then in the instance where you have a couple of listings with an equal number of reviews, tendency is to click on the ones that have a higher review rating, right? So in this case, it's 4.7. The tendency would be to click on this because, again, you're associating this listing with reliability, and you want to find out more about Shapiro and their services, right? So one of the first reasons why you want to have good reviews in Google Places, in your Google My Business, is because you want the reviews to help you stand out in the search results. So the potential for visitors to click through is a lot higher than if you were a plain Jane listing without any reviews, right? So that's the first benefit of having reviews against your listing. The second reason, again, we kind of like dabbled into this a little bit, is reviews can definitely help you improve conversions. So whether it's leads or sales or signups, whatever a conversion is for you, whatever it means for you, having a good review can definitely have a positive impact on your conversion rates. It just makes people feel more comfortable in doing business with you. And then based on the statistic that the author points out in this article, 90% of the respondents said that positive online reviews influence their buying decisions. Again, we touched upon this, but here are some actual hardcore statistics that talk about the respondents being more comfortable and being more responsive when they actually see positive review listings associated with your particular profile on Google. Right? So that's a huge reason to make sure that you're doing your reviews accurately, and you are actively soliciting reviews, right? And then the other reason, of course, which we also dabbled on a little bit, is people may choose to view only highly rated or reviewed sites. And, you know, as I mentioned to you, you know, if I'm in a different city and if I want to try and look for a local business, let's say even just something as simple as order pizza, and I look at pizza listings, there's going to be tons of them. There's going to be local pizza listings that are coming up. Who am I most likely to click on and try and investigate the menu a little bit more? Obviously, the one that has highly rated and reviewed sites. that's the one that I'd be more inclined towards clicking on and investigating even further, right? So that's human nature. So it's important. Again, one of the reasons why it's so important to have listings is because it's human nature to go after the positive reviews and investigate those listings a lot more. So the other aspect that the author kind of delves upon and discusses is the impact of reviews on your rankings. Now, we all know how important rankings are in Google. The higher you're ranked in Google, the more traffic that you'll be getting. The more traffic you're getting, the more the probability of conversions in revenue and sales, right? So the author kind of looks at how the reviews impact the rankings and points out that there is a direct correlation with having reviews, more positive reviews, and getting better rankings on Google. So he cites the 2014 Moz Local Search Rankings Factor Survey, and just for the ones that are not aware of what this is, so this used to be an independent company run by a gentleman by the name of David Mim. David Mim used to run his own local company, and he's like, I guess, one of the best local search experts that's out there. And in 2014, early, he got bought out by Moz. So Moz, essentially, which is Ray Fishkin's company, Moz bought out David Mim's company, and then they basically came under one umbrella. And David Mim used to take out a survey, which he still does every year, that used to basically, like, he'd be interviewing about 100 different agency experts and some clients, and then coming up with this local search ranking factor survey. That would basically give us an indication of what's the important elements that we should be taking into account when we're trying to rank a website high in Google. So the surveys continued. So luckily Moz did not kill that when they bought the company, and this is an annual event. Much anticipated event by everybody in the search marketing industry, because it gives us a really good insight on whether we're focusing on the right areas when we're working on clients' websites or not. And in the 2014 Moz Local Search Ranking Factor Survey, it was clearly identified that review signals such as the quantity of reviews, the velocity of the reviews, how frequent the reviews are coming in, and the diversity of the reviews are a significant factor in rankings. So that's another vote of confidence, so to speak, with regards to how reviews impact your rankings. The other, and as you can see, this is a little screenshot over here that the author talks about, where he showcases all the different aspects of the search ranking factor survey and what makes a difference in your local rankings, right? The other question that the author tries to tackle in this particular article is very controversial, and that is it okay to ask for online reviews? Because there's mixed feedback on this. Sorry, I'm just going to get it back to the same spot here. There we go. So there's two conflicting schools of thought. So you have Yelp on one side, and then you have Google on the other side, right? So Yelp highly discourages you from soliciting customer reviews. They are not for it. They're not okay with it. As a matter of fact, Yelp has started cracking down pretty heavily on business listings that they feel have manipulated their reviews in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. For some of you that are logged on, and I know there's quite a few people that are logged on, but if you've been in the industry long enough, you know that getting reviews on Yelp had almost become a business in itself. So you'd have these people from Fiverr.com or all these other sites saying, hey, I'll write a listing for you, or I'll get you a testimonial, or I'll build 50 testimonials for you for $5, stuff like that, right? Pure garbage. So that was an industry in itself, and this was a huge problem for Yelp and their business model, because Yelp's business model depends on the accuracy of their listings. So Yelp had launched a huge lawsuit against businesses that were using deceptive and manipulative tactics in the middle of 2014, and they won, where there was 10 or 15 businesses that they tried to set an example of that were basically fined about $150,000 for soliciting negative listings or manipulating listings and negative reviews on Yelp. So they went after them pretty aggressively, right? So Yelp's stand is nope, do not ask for customer reviews. If a customer has really had an amazing experience with you, then they'll find you online and they'll put out a review for you. Do not go out there aggressively soliciting customer reviews. So that's Yelp on one side. And then Google, on the other hand, actually suggests that you encourage reviews for your business, right? So according to Google officially, this is what they state. Remind your customers to leave feedback in Google. Simply reminding customers that it's quick and easy to leave feedback in Google on mobile or desktops can help your business stand out from sites with fewer reviews, right? So there's two schools of thought here. Our personal opinion, hey, ask for reviews. I mean, if you've done a good job, you want to know how you did. So there is no harm in soliciting reviews and getting feedback from your customers on how you've done. I think that's a very positive thing to do. And I'd like to highlight two examples of how I've personally seen local businesses incorporating soliciting reviews from customers without being too, I would say, without being too intrusive. So the first example that I'd like to showcase is a restaurant that I recently went to, and great restaurant. It was a steakhouse, fantastic dinner, had that, finished it. What was interesting was that when the dinner actually finished and asked for the check, so the guy brought the check, but along with the check he also got an iPad for me. And I was like, whoa, this is kind of interesting. I've never seen this before. So he brought me an iPad along with the check, and then he said, did you find everything satisfactory and success and up to your standards today? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And he's like, great. So here's your check, but we'd really appreciate if you could just give us your review. It's going to take you a couple of minutes, and we'll also enter you into a draw to win, $50. I was like, hey, why not? I was pretty satisfied with the whole experience that I had at that restaurant, so I said, why not? And he wasn't kidding. The entire review was built literally on the iPad. They were probably using some sort of an app that was connecting with Yelp and Google Places, and literally I had to answer 4 or 5 questions, and my review automatically got posted up on Yelp and on Google My Business for that particular restaurant, which was pretty incredible. I thought that was amazing. It wasn't intrusive for me. It was a part of my customer experience in that restaurant, and it was done really nice and smooth. And if I declined it, I mean, he would have politely accepted and just walked away with the iPad, right? So that was one example that I wanted to share with you, because we get this a lot from our clients. It's like, how do I get reviews? Or, it's irritating for the customer for me to ask reviews. Trust me, these are all excuses. When you really want to get something done, you can, right? So I'm going to give you another example of a very formal environment and how they've incorporated getting reviews, because they understand the value of this. So the second example is with my recent visit to my family doctor, right? So I went in for my regular checkup. I did my checkup. Everything went fine. Great visit. It was just my regular annual health checkup that I was doing, and a bit high on cholesterol, but you got to watch for that. But everything else was good. So we come outside, and the receptionist sitting there again asks me, Panish, was everything okay? Did the doc do everything to your satisfaction? I was like, yeah, absolutely. He's fantastic. Here's what she does next. Okay. She prints out a piece of paper, like she had this sheet. It was a pretty long sheet, and then she tears one part of the sheet away. She says, okay, so if you had a really good experience today, do you mind going to any of these websites and just putting in a couple of lines of comments? It's going to mean a lot to us. It was just the way that she asked me off this that made me actually want to do it, because it was, again, non-intrusive. It was extremely polite. And of course, I've been with this doc for a very long time, so I want to do whatever I can to help him out. And what that little piece of sheet gave me was 2 links. One was the Yelp listing for this doctor, and then the second listing was there was a doctor review website where all the doctors get, I think it's drratings.com or something of that sort. So where you can go in and you can rate the doctors based on their profile, right, and leave comments for them. So she gave me this piece of paper, asked me to basically provide this doc with a review, a couple of sheets that she, the couple of listings that she passed on to me. Again, the whole experience is very seamless. It was non-intrusive. It was being done when I was basically, taking my health card, getting my prescriptions and stuff at the reception area, which I have to do in any case. And she just did it in such a smooth manner. Again, the whole experience was totally fine. I did not feel like she was harassing me in any way, shape, or form. So the test for you is to try and see as to how you can incorporate getting reviews in your business and make it as non-intrusive as possible and make it a part of the customer experience. Because in these two examples, I've given you two examples of two different industries, two different verticals where they've been able to very successfully incorporate this. And as you've seen, this does make a difference for various reasons, right? The author goes on to talk about some of the best review sites in your industry. You know, search out your brand names, look at your competitors, and this is an activity that we can definitely help you with. So just seek out your account executive and tell him, great, hey, I was in this webinar today, and one of the things that you guys talked about is review sites. What are the best review sites in my industry? And we can definitely do these searches for you and send you a listing of some of the review sites that are the top review sites in your vertical that you should be a part of and should be actively managing your listing in in your specific verticals, right? Again, he talks about enticing customers to submit a review, create a web page, put links to review sites in your web page and email signatures, create your business cards with review site information, right? So in this case, as I showed you, the doc had these printed sheets with these review sites mentioned over there. You can actually get business cards created with the review site information at the back of the card. So this way, all you need to do is just hand over your business card and tell the guy, hey, leave me a review. Here's where you leave me a review. Hand out flyers, just ask, et cetera, right? And then the other thing that the author does mention is, because if you remember, the review velocity is a very important component. So make sure that you're getting reviews over time and on a continuous basis. Because again, if you get 100 reviews in one day, and Google and Yelp are seeing that you haven't had any reviews in the past, and then you get 100 reviews in one day, and they're also seeing the fact that you haven't had, like all of a sudden your reviews stop, and for the next week or 10 days, you don't get any reviews, that's definitely suspicious behavior. Your listing's going to get flagged, and most likely your business listing's going to get banned, especially when it comes to Yelp. They have very sophisticated algorithms. Trust me, you can't beat them. So just make sure that you're doing this in a legitimate manner and you're getting reviews over time on a continuous basis. There's sites like Customer Lobby out there. There's Trustpilot.com that allow you to syndicate or solicit listings. They have different programs. So if you feel that this is a real pain for you to get this done yourself, you can always sign up for services like Customer Lobby and Trustpilot, where they actually do the solicitation on your behalf. They'll actually reach out to your clients, your customers, and then get these reviews for you. Great. So hope you found this information helpful, because again, this is a huge hot topic, a huge burning topic with a lot of our prospects and our customers. They'd always be grilling us on reviews, and hopefully we've been able to address this today. If you do have questions, do get in touch with us so we can address any of the questions that you have. All right. So moving ahead. So mobile's been a hot topic for a very long time, and we thought that we should really address this in our first webinar today that we're doing with you. So if you think that mobile's not important, then I would probably say that you're not from planet Earth. I'm not sure where you're from, because all the information and all the data sets have been pointing to your website being mobile friendly, because Google's now moving towards a mobile friendly world, essentially. The usage pattern is shifting to mobile, and there's going to be a couple of statistics that we'll showcase with you fairly soon. But as of December 2014, the US had a smartphone penetration at about 75%, which is up from 65%. Okay, and as a matter of fact, this has already happened. Mobile traffic in 2015 for the first time ever has surpassed desktop traffic, which means that your website is being visited by more mobile visitors as opposed to desktop visitors. And if you want actual facts for your business, you can actually log into Google Analytics, and over there you can see the percentage of mobile users, tablet users, and the percentage of desktop users. So if you have 70% of your traffic coming in from mobile users, yet you have only 30% of your traffic coming in from desktop users, and you do not have a responsive website or a mobile-friendly website, that's an issue, because your visitors are not getting a good experience on your website, and if they don't get a good experience on your website, they're going to bounce. They'll basically leave your website, your bounce rates are going to be high, and they'll go to your competitor. That's really what's going to happen. right? So if you see that in your analytics, and again, if you're not sure how to find this information in analytics, reach out to us. We'll help you out to try and get you this information. Take a look at the numbers. If the numbers is skewed towards mobile and your website is not mobile friendly, that's an issue, needs to be fixed because you're losing customers. If you are if your percentage is not that high, let's say you're about 20-25%, we've seen the averages go to about 35% right now. But if you're at about 20-25%, you're lucky because that number is going to shoot up. And if your website is not mobile friendly, now's the time to act. And we can definitely assist you with this. So just get in touch with us and we'll give you different options. We got some amazing promotions running right now on converting your website, making it responsive, so that this way you can take advantage of this. Now, one of the questions that comes up very frequently is, what's the difference between a responsive website and a mobile friendly website? Okay, and that's a really good question. It's a technical question, and perhaps it's best dealt with in another webinar because we can go in detail, show you screenshots and examples. But the simple answer is that for a mobile website, you basically go in and set up a mobile website when you have a very, let's say, a complicated domain. It's got thousands of pages, and you want the experience on a mobile device to be a particular manner or a particular fashion. Like you want the experience to be a certain way. That's when you go in for a mobile friendly website. And in that case, what happens is that you get a subdomain which is called m.yourwebsite.com, whatever it is. But that M is your mobile version of your website, right? So you create a subdomain. And that's what a mobile friendly website is. Okay. In a responsive website, you don't need that mobile version. There's no subdomain here. It's the same URL, so it's www.yoursite.com, but it renders differently based on the device that the site is being accessed from. So if you're accessing the website from an iPad, from a Samsung, from a BlackBerry, from an iPhone, it just renders differently, but the rendering is done so that it's in a manner where it's friendly for the visitor to consume that information. All right. So that's kind of like the difference in a mobile friendly and a responsive website in a very simple manner. But again, as I mentioned to you, this topic's best dealt separately with examples and screenshots so you can really understand the difference. So as I mentioned to you, it's very important for you to find out if your website's mobile friendly or not. So here's a tool that we like to showcase that basically allows you to test whether your website is mobile friendly or not. So do we have any volunteers? Do you want any site to be checked right now? Please put it in the chat box so we can actually test the site for you live and give you an understanding of whether your website is mobile friendly or not. It can be, hey, you know, as I like to say, it can be your friend's website. Doesn't have to be your own website. So you can put that in the chat box. I'd like to test my friend's website out. So let us know if you have any volunteers here. Okay. So we got somebody here. So please put the website in the chat box if you can. So Sherwood has volunteered. So is your website called doortodoor.com? Is that what the website is that you want us to check for its mobile friendliness? So there's a chat box there at the bottom. So you can just click on that chat box and then you can just put in your website that you want us to check. Okay. Yep. Okay. Perfect. So let's check this website here. It's called doortodoor.com. All right, let's go check it out. Hope I'm typing it out correctly. Let me just check, make sure that it is the right website. Just gonna open this up really quick. Yeah, okay, terrific. So thank you for volunteering. And okay, so this is the website that we're looking at. Door-to-door airport transportation services serving Southeast Florida airports and seaports. Terrific. All right, so now let's copy paste this URL and do this test over here. So let's go here. I'm gonna copy paste this URL and then click analyze. And then Google's developed this tool again because they want to make sure your website's mobile friendly, and it's a really cool tool. Checks everything really quickly. So in this case, tells website is not mobile friendly, and it gives you the reasons as to why it's not mobile friendly. You know, mobile viewport's not set, the text is too small to read, the content's wider than the screen, and they even put a little screenshot over here for you to look at. It's not using compatible plugins, the links are too close together. And then what it does is that now if you do have a little bit of technical expertise, or if you have somebody that does know how to make like has a little bit of technical expertise or coding experience, you can actually make this page mobile friendly yourself, right? So it gives you different options, like I used a CMS, someone built this site for me, I built the site myself, and then when you click on next, it gives you on what you need to do. So for example, in your case, if someone's built a site for you, tell you just click on next, and then it gives you instructions on what you need to do next in order to get your website to be mobile friendly, which is pretty cool. So Google gives you a lot of information on this. Again, if you need to have us assist you with this with this whole challenge, making your website mobile friendly, just reach out to us and we'll definitely be willing to assist you in this. All right, so this is an example of a non-mobile friendly website, and once again, thank you, Tel, for volunteering. Let's go to an example of an actual mobile friendly website. So let's look at, let's say, CNN. CNN just revamped their entire interface. So let's take a look at CNN's website and see what comes up. Again, just a reminder, if there's any questions that you have, please feel free to put those questions in the chat pane, and we'll definitely address these questions towards the end of the webinar. Great. So as you can see, CNN's website is mobile friendly. They'd recently, as I mentioned to you, just changed their entire interface, and this is how it looks like. So this is the kind of a message you should be getting for your website when you're utilizing Google's tool to check your site. You want to make sure it's coming up nice and proper. All right. So again, please do check whether your website's mobile friendly or not. Utilize this tool that we just showcased today in this webinar. The link's actually in this webinar itself. And check if your website's mobile friendly or not, because the world is moving towards mobile. Or there's more mobile searches that are happening than desktop searches, and you want to make sure that you're giving your users a really good experience. Okay. So there was an algorithm update, but Google's not officially confirming it, and everybody's been sort of like watching and looking at this with bated breath. But there was definitely some sort of a change that happened in early February. There was a lot of large fluctuations that took place in the Google search results. And we reached out to Google officially for a comment, but they're not giving an official comment saying that there's no big update that's been done, but there's definitely something that we've noticed in February that was done with regards to changes in the algorithm updates, and most of our changes were for the positive, which is a good sign. But usually Google goes after like spammy link building tactics or people that are utilizing black hat tactics, and these algorithms usually negate the impact of some of those black hat techniques that are being utilized by websites to rank. So this update was probably something along those lines, but Google's not officially confirming as to what they've done. But we are definitely on guard, and we'll keep you posted in our future webinars if there's any more information that comes out in this regard. But there was definitely some sort of an update that was done to the algorithm in February. So we want to share some stats with you as far as Google, MSN, and Yahoo are concerned, as far as their search share is concerned. And this is another question that gets asked of us very frequently. It's like, hey, you guys are focusing so much on Google. What about Yahoo and Bing? What about their percentage and their importance? And what about optimizing for Yahoo and Bing? So as far as the latest percentages are concerned, Google still rules the world. It's got almost 66% of all the searches that are taking place in this planet. So there's 66% of search share that Google has. MSN has really climbed up. It's gone up to about 20%, which is phenomenal for a company that was struggling at about 9 or 10% about a couple of years back. Most of this growth has come at the expense of Yahoo. They've sort of like interchanged places as far as their search share is concerned. Yahoo was at about 20% about a couple of years back, and Bing was at about 10%, and they've switched places. So Bing's taken over a lot of Yahoo's share. They're now at about 20%, and then Yahoo's at about 12%. Now Yahoo used to be at 8%. It's got a recent growth of about 4%, so it's gone up to about 12% because of their deal with Firefox. So Google's deal with Firefox recently expired as being the default browser in the Firefox browser. They switched sites. They didn't want to renew their deal with Google, and they actually signed up with Yahoo. So Yahoo became the default search engine in the Firefox browser. So if you do open up Firefox, unless you've changed the settings, you'll see Yahoo as the default search engine that's coming up. And that 4% share gain in market share that Yahoo got was primarily because of this Firefox deal. Again, we're watching these percentages really closely. As of right now, it is all Google. Bing's becoming more and more important. If you are incorporating a paid search strategy, then we highly suggest that you go after Bing as well, because Bing is that secret silent conversion search engine where it brings a lot of quality conversions, and the cost per conversion is really low right now based on our experience with our clients. Google's really expensive. I mean, it's the most expensive search engine to run a paid search campaign in. So in our comparatives, when we run campaigns on Google and on Bing, we are definitely seeing a huge difference when it comes to conversion rates and the cost per conversion with Google and Bing. So highly recommend you to run a campaign with Bing as well. Spend a little bit of money over there, spend a bit of money with Google, and you'll see that Bing's going to bring in a better, a more effective cost per conversion, so to speak. All right. So just wanted to update you on the latest numbers as far as the search share for different search engines is concerned. So this was a slide that I wanted to kind of showcase in this webinar with regards to the US mobile search spend that's expected to overtake desktop in this year. So if you look at the search spend, so in 2013, mobile had about approximately $5 billion going towards their search spend, went up to about $9 billion in 2014. And now in 2015, mobile search spend's gone to $13 billion, which is 50% of all the search spend, because the search spend in 2015 is supposed to be around $26 billion. So now you'll see that mobile's at about 50% of the search spend. And that's going to basically keep going up. And according to eMarketer, where we got this data set from, we are looking at in 2018, mobile search spend is going to go to $26 billion, and that's 77% of all the spending in digital advertising. So you can see mobile's huge. It's taking 77% of the search share. All the arrows, I guess, are pointing in the direction of mobile. So do definitely take advantage of mobile. It's huge. It's big. There's a lot of opportunities to advertise on mobile and gear advertising specifically for mobile visitors. Again, ask us what these opportunities are, and we'll definitely advise you, guide you in the right direction. But it all starts from your website. Just make sure that you have a mobile responsive website. That's very, very important. All right, so I just wanted to share this stat with you as well. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Darren in this conversation. Darren's been associated with this particular client for a very long time. The client's Clarion Group, and Darren's going to give you a nice little case study on how essentially what this client's all about, some of the challenges that this client was experiencing, and what we were able to do for this client in this industry. Over to you, Darren.
Thanks, Manish. So like Manish mentioned, every month we're going to go through a client of ours and just take you through a case study of an experience, whether it's an existing client, a client that we've seen some success and might have left us. But obviously we want to focus on some case studies where we've seen some successes and then also some challenges and where we're able to address those challenges and really provide once we get great satisfaction from our clients, we definitely want to share that to others who are attending these webinars to follow suit and obviously share these experiences and find out, how some challenges were able to be, solved within different verticals and different industries. So the one that we're focusing on in our first webinar is a client of ours called Clarion Group. Now, Clarion Group came to us slightly just before 2010, so he's been with us just over 5 years now. What they do is they're a food service consultant within the United States mainly. So what they do is they provide consultants to companies, professional firms, colleges, universities, schools, and international institutions with regards to their food services. So whether it's on-site cafeterias, lunchrooms, large halls and cafeterias for universities and colleges, and really just analyzes their food services and improves them, gives them recommendations on how they could be more profitable and how they could improve it for obviously the operations aspect. When he came to us in 2009, 2010 area, he was really fresh and kind of an old school client where he's, and give you a bit of background, he's in his late 70s right now. So when he came to us, he was very experienced in the industry. He's built up a lot of reputation through word of mouth and, from all the jobs that they did, but he never found that they were able to drive leads or sales through their website. So this was someone who was a bit skeptical in terms of how online marketing will work, in terms of search engine optimization. How is he really going to use his website to generate more business? So what we did is we started him out with our basic level plan of an SEO campaign. So we did his on-page optimization, and we did some link building for him back then. Obviously the industry's changed in terms of how you build links, how you rank, like Vanish covered in some of the slides, that mobile has a large part of it, online reviews has a large part of it. So just that algorithm itself has changed over the last 5 years. But I just kind of want to take you through him because he's been with us through all these changes with Google, and we've still seen great results. So his challenge was he was trying to drive new business, and he didn't have a good website for it, and he wasn't really sure how, people are going to use Google to find his website. So we launched an SEO campaign a little over about 5 years ago in 2010. We did full on-page optimization, ran his campaign for about a year, and we mainly focused on a lot of article and press release content because content is definitely key when it comes into search engine optimization. So we made sure, and part of that was identifying what keywords he wanted to be focused on. Like I mentioned, he focuses in on colleges, universities, and then businesses in terms of his consultant services for food service. So obviously one of our prime keywords that we went after was food service consulting. Within the first year, we were able to get this keyword and his website ranking on the first page of Google on google.com for food service consulting. Now some of these keywords have revised just based on our strategy in terms of what converted, but within the first year we were able to generate around 10 keywords on page 1 of Google, and those were with regards to food service consulting, food service consultants, college dining consultants, college dining consulting, and other terms like that we were able to generate through his website. After about, so at that point he had seen the results, and he had a great call after the first year. Obviously we spoke to him every month, but he had a great call, just, he wanted to renew again because he had actually brought in business, and just one order that came in for a new project for a university covered his whole marketing expenses for the SEO campaign and actually covered his expenses for the next 2 years. Just getting one project coming in from the website. Since then, what we've done is we've actually recommended him, after the second year he was with us, to actually redevelop his website. So this screenshot that you're seeing now in the presentation is actually his revised version. And you can see in the screenshot that there's different sections of his website with client list, case studies. Yeah, Vanish, if you could bring that up, that would be great. GP, yeah. So looking at the website, we actually advised him on getting more content, and he was very appreciative. And from him, he's a writer himself, and as a food service consultant, you're writing a lot of documents, you're providing a lot of presentations, and making sure you're advising other operators on how to run their businesses and their services. So we wanted to make sure that he had this content on his website. So he actually outsourced to another company to redesign the website, but we kind of had the improvements in terms of the recommendations on what he should kind of map out. So we mapped out his sitemap, and so he already had the About Us, the services, and the client lists on his previous site. So what we did is we wanted to also break down his services into different groups, and that's what we did. The additional is the content. Obviously, like we mentioned, his content is key. We had him add the blog to the website, so we were constantly every month publishing new content. He writes articles with relation to the industry. He's actually very highly, he's an advocate in the industry. If you go to About Us, he's under that page as well. But then we also got his client list. You could see their approach. So all this section, it has an introduction of who the company is. It has their approach of how they provide their services. And here's a little background. There's Tom, our client. So you can see how he's well involved in the industry. And we wanted to use that as a strength. I think that's the key in where you want to see yourself stand out in search is what makes you different than the competition. And with him, it was just the vast years of experience. He's been in the industry for more than 30 or 40 years, so obviously he's an expert in the industry. And we wanted to see that come across on the website. Since then, we've actually generated up to 2 to 3 leads per month. Now these are large projects that are coming from large universities, international organizations, and corporate firms as well. So Vanish is just going through the list here of the businesses that they've worked with. And he continually tells us month after month that, you know, people just keep calling me and they're finding me online. They're finding me through Google, and I'm asking them, you know, do you know my company name before then? And it's not. It's coming through keyword phrases and keyword searches that we've optimized through his website, and through that authority, they're coming across his name and they're getting in contact with him. Just to give you an update of where we stand right now, so he's actually just recently joined his 5th 12-month campaign with us. We've actually expanded his campaign, so we've actually expanded on his SEO campaign in regards to the content that we provide, the optimization on his website. We're also in talks with him about updating his mobile site. Even though he does say a lot of his traffic is coming in from desktop, he does get some communication through mobile where people can contact him directly. So we want to make sure, and especially because that's becoming a greater importance in terms of rankings, that we want to make sure his site is highly visible on both or on all devices. So we want to make sure that his site is mobile friendly moving forward. But over the last 6 months, he's actually added a Google AdWords campaign to coincide with his SEO campaign. So we're actually adding more real estate to his website in Google search results. We've generated a lot of organic page 1 rankings, but there's some keywords where just due to the competition and just regards to how long other people have been doing it in the industry, there's some keywords that we haven't gotten him up to positions 1 to 5 where you're really going to see that increase in traffic and those click-through rates come through. So to compete with that, we've actually added a Google AdWords campaign, and since then we've even doubled his sales and doubled his traffic on the website. And just the last month, he brought in 2 leads a week just from his AdWords campaign. So this is a strong client who really followed suit in terms of getting content, optimizing the website, optimizing each page with only 1 to 2 keywords to ensure those pages stand out in the search results. You're limiting the amount of pages that people have to go from Google because usually the home page is the first page that people are going to arrive to, whether they go there directly or if they search a company or a brand name, they're going to arrive on your home page. What we wanted to do is ensure if people are searching through keyword phrases such as food service consultants, college dining consultants, that those are leading to dedicated pages on his website, and that's taking them to the page so they don't have to go through the home page and then find the right page. So they're finding out, okay, let's get in contact with the food service provider or food service consultant. They're arriving on the page that describes his services, and they could then, through the website, get in touch with him or request a free report that you can see on the left-hand side with regards to 10 questions every food service manager should be following. So that's a way for him to collect leads and to really, get in front of these clients. And once he does that, he's able to sell. And I think from our approach is just driving that traffic to his website and let him obviously, do what he does best. And that's where we've seen a lot of success. And I think just adding that Google AdWords campaign over the last 6 months, he's even seen greater results, and he continues to come back to us with positive reviews, with our account managers, and with our recommendations. We're not settling with these results. We're always looking to make things better. So that's why we've doubled with the SEO and the pay-per-click services for him, and that's where our next step is really looking into mobile. He's, like I said, he is old school, so social media is maybe something a little bit on the outside, but he does focus his blogs. He tries to get out a blog every 2 weeks through his own site, plus we're writing content for him as well, and it's really shown great results. So these are the type of case studies that we want to share in our webinars on a monthly basis. If anyone has any questions with regards to Clarion Group or any similar clients that we have in this industry, feel free to get in touch with us. Vanish will share our emails at the end of the presentation, and we'll be sure to follow up. And we definitely look forward to sharing more case studies with you in the future.
Awesome. Thanks, Darren. That was definitely very insightful, very informative. Hope the audience found that as well. And we'll make the case studies also a little more interactive. We'll get you more information on them. We'll show you like the ranking screenshots and some of the stuff that we did for them, just so that it makes a lot more sense for you. But hopefully this first case study that we've showcased has been beneficial for you. Just a little bit about us there. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are familiar with us, and we have a lot of special promotions that are running on right now with regards to mobile friendly websites, with regards to paid advertising. So here's our information. It's info@seo5consulting.com. Just shoot us an email or give us a call at our toll-free number at 888-759-4112. If you have any questions or if you'd like to engage in one-on-one discussions with us, please definitely reach out to us. We also provide complimentary audit services, so we can see where your digital marketing activity is at and how we can potentially assist you. So we are getting a lot of questions with regards to our contact info. I just shared that with everybody. So our contact info is email, which is info@seo5consulting.com. Or you can reach us via our toll-free number, which is 888-759-4112. This is a monthly webinar, correct? And you would be, I guess, when you accepted the webinar and registered for it, it automatically registered you for the next few months. And yes, you can definitely share links with your colleagues, your friends, anybody that you think is going to be gaining information and knowledge from this webinar series. Please invite them in. The more the merrier. So definitely feel free to share the registration link across to as many people as you want, and get them to participate in our webinars. That's not an issue at all. Terrific. I think that's all the questions that we have, and we've actually managed to finish on time, which is fantastic. Once again, thank you so much, everybody, for attending our first inaugural LaunchPad webinar series, and we're very excited to bring this to you. We will see you next month. If you have any questions or any topic ideas, suggestions, please definitely share that with us, and we'll cover those in our next webinars. Once again, thank you so much for attending. Hope everybody has a terrific week. Thank you.